Hi, Caeli.
Hey Deb, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. It's crazy. It's crazy times right now. And thank you so much for taking time out to chat with us today. We are actually having our first WREN virtual meeting this evening, and we wanted to get some insight from you about what's going on in the lending the lending field. For those of you that don't know Caeli already, Caeli is the head of Ridge Lending, located up in Portland, Oregon, and she lends to primarily non-owner occupied. So do you hear that, ladies? Anything you want to cash flow, non-owner occupied, although she has a lot of different lending packages in 47 different states. 47. I can't imagine having to keep up with what's going on in lending in 47 different states. But yeah, I guess I don't even know what to ask, but like, how's your week been?
No, it's, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be sharing some of this information with the listeners. I'm sorry that the circumstances have kind of made it that we can't all be together. I love that Ignite, man. I love it. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but thank God for technology, right? Zoom stock is up, ladies. And in fact, so here's kind of something funny I've been telling all my clients and stuff, because I've been doing a lot of Zoom. I am in negotiations right now to figure out how we can come up with a hair filter for my grays, right? They've got a filter for the rest of my stuff, but I cannot get to my hairdresser. What's going to happen?
Wondering what's going to happen.
You never know. I know.
I'm almost there.
Anyway, I'm teasing. So yeah, I feel like, and I've been telling everybody this too, I feel like I'm drinking through a fire hose is the visual that I'm trying to paint for people, because that's really what it feels like. A lot of changes, certainly a tremendous amount of disruption. Why don't I just kind of put together a summary of some of the more key factors that we've seen come about the last couple of weeks. So conventional lending is sort of what our bread and butter is. That's the GSEs, government-sponsored entities, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the Ginnies, all of that stuff. Seems to be going pretty strong. Everything seems to be on target there, with a few exceptions I will come back to. But the biggest news as of late has been the complete and utter suspension and removal of all non-QM products. This was kind of a big one for us, because a lot of our investors, either they can't qualify in the Fannie Freddie box, or perhaps they've exhausted those conventional loans, right? There are 10 of them per qualified individual. If those are already eaten up, they simply move into the non-QM. Non-QM is gone. I mean, it's gone industry-wide. That's not just a Ridge thing, but industry-wide non-QM, all non-QM is gone.
So when you say on, do you mean like we're on hold for a couple days, or do you mean like, wait,
yeah.
Ask somebody who's looking at refinancing, please for me.
That was my first question, and so far I've not been able to ascertain. I don't know if this is a temporary thing or if it's a permanent thing. All I can tell everybody for now is that the product line is no more. It is not available for anybody anywhere. So that was a little bit of a blow. Most of our stuff is the conventional. I'd say 90%.
So let's talk about the conventional a little bit. I mean, is underwriting tightening up? Like, what's happening?
So yes, what we are finding, and just some quick background, ladies, what's happening on the secondary market, there's a lot of variables, a lot of factors. Most of you maybe heard some headlines that several weeks ago, interest rates just fell through the floor, right? They got really, really, really low. That was a factor of largely the coronavirus, which is what a lot of people anticipated, but there were a lot of other things that were at play there. Last year, well, I won't go into that much detail, but shipping and manufacturing were down, looming fears of recession, huge U.S. debt, all of those things generally will bring rates down. Anyway, coronavirus and then that oil fight between Russia and the Saudis just brought rates. I mean, we were seeing rates that I've never seen before. As a result, the coming days and weeks of that, we had about $1.3 trillion worth of submissions in the industry for refinance business. To put that into perspective, on an annual basis, we see between $3 and $5 trillion worth of combination of purchase and refi in a year. Mm-hmm. So the industry itself got about 1.3 trillion in a month. Wow. So, I mean, right? So stop. Stop the train, stop the bus. As a result of capacity, just not being able to fill that demand, and then liquidity issues, interest rates went up. So that's the first thing I want to kind of share with everybody. A lot of people think that rates are still really, really low, when in fact the truth is rates are up. Okay, they've artificially inflated these interest rates for the reasons I just described. I believe that they will be coming back down. When is the $1,000,000 question, and then probably the $1,000,000,000 answer. But I do believe they're going to be coming back down. In the meantime, for qualification purposes, the other pieces that are kind of at play right here that are making things so volatile is everybody's heard the news about unemployment. We get the unemployment report tomorrow. I can tell you that last week we had about 281,000 unemployment claims. They are predicting, or week before last, they are predicting that between then and now, over 2 million in unemployment claims. Wow. Right? I mean, so that's just right now. So fears of that, along with there's something called a runoff in our industry. I can certainly explain that if anybody's interested, or if you think it would be worthwhile. But the fears of that, mortgage-backed securities are not trading the way that they should be. There's a bid and an ask. If I go out and I'm selling a bundle of mortgage-backed securities for $1, right? But the buyers, the bidders, are only bidding 50 cents. There's margin calls. There's all kinds of things going on in that case. The fear of more defaults because of the unemployment. Yes, to answer your question, qualifications are going to increase. Now, I find that for our particular model, our business for investors, we should be okay there. They're going to be removing the down payment assistance programs. FHA that have the lower credit score requirements are probably going to take a hit. But most of our clients usually come with 700 plus credit scores, good debt to income ratio, strong assets. So for us, I think we're going to be unscathed is probably not the right way to put it, but I think we're going to be okay.
Right. So let's talk about, for us that are already landlords and holding current mortgages. Now, I know there's been some announcements made about, we can't evict if somebody doesn't pay, and maybe there's been some grace on the side of lenders if we are in that kind of situation. Have you heard more about, how that actually can happen?
So Fannie Freddie actually have published news about that for investors, for investment properties, as long as you are not evicting the tenant, you have a forbearance. You will not have to make that mortgage payment. Now, how that shakes down for longer term and what that forbearance might mean for future qualification, if you're trying to do refi now or purchase now, I don't have those answers. I've been
credit, like who knows,
right?
Right.
I want to know for myself. So I've been asking the question the minute I saw that announcement, and I don't have an answer yet. Yeah. We've got calls into Fannie and Freddie. I can tell you though that on the servicing side, and this is where the question really lies. So servicers, for example, these are going to be probably the big boy banks, the ones that are actually collecting the mortgage payment and then paying the secondary investor. If the mortgage is not paid, there's a coupon with that mortgage. The servicer still has to pay Ginnie Mac or whoever it is. Okay, so there's going to be some big losses there. For those GSEs, the Fannie Freddie loans, for example, if they're putting that out there, I cannot imagine that the servicer is still obligated to pay the shareholder. I don't know those answers yet. I'm very much interested.
It's all changing every day, isn't it? Yeah. So what suggestions would you have about a person that maybe was looking at that loan that is not a Freddie Fannie, that is now gone? the income qualified loan,
right?
All those loans.
I wish I had a better answer to this, Deborah. As far as I am aware, from my seat in the bleachers, there is no funding availability. So they're going to have to be looking at private money, maybe personal lines of credit, other creative ways in which to fund those transactions, because institutionally it is not available.
Well, it's a good thing that one of the other speakers tonight is a private money person.
Yay. Yes. Thank God.
We're trying to cover our bases,
Right, yeah.
Now, I assume, are you guys just jamming busy with...
Jamming.
Yeah.
Jamming busy. Our turn times are actually solid. We don't have capacity issues. We don't have liquidity issues. Our borrowers are very well qualified. One of the things that I'm seeing that's maybe putting some delay, actually a few things, appraisal turn times have taken a hit.
Yeah,
So that,
talk to me about that, because I
yeah.
think appraisals are really backed up.
Well, and we just got, yes, and for a variety of reasons, because there's so much business, but also the fear, right, that's out there. Appraisers don't want to go into the houses. You've got tenants that don't want to give access to anybody. So, and I'll send this to you after we're done, and maybe you can publish it to the ladies. There is new ruling literally in the last 48 hours. Fannie Freddie have deemed that we do not, based on the criteria of the transaction, I believe it mostly will qualify for what we do here for investors. They can do an exterior appraisal coupled with a desktop version. So they don't actually have to enter the house, and it's still insurable by Fannie Freddie. So that was really good news.
Yeah, that's great news.
Yeah.
So appraisers are back. Appraisals are slowing things down a little bit. What else would be, things that
title and escrow, just for sheer volume, right? Some of the signings, right? We're trying to figure out if Congress is going to pass something where we can do virtual signings, right? E-signings and that kind of thing. Right now, the notaries, simple signing is who we use. They have a checklist of questions they have to ask the individual about health, where they've been, et cetera. They have to show up with mask and gloves and that whole thing, but we're getting through it. I mean, it's,
well, so I know for people that are here in California, our county recorder's office is closed. So
really,
yeah, it's creating a lot of problems in escrow because we can't record them, right?
Right.
Record. That's a whole nother set of problems.
Right.
But and it's like all the people, right? All the people that you bring together for these kind of transactions stop. Right?
The orchestra has paused for sure.
Totally pausing.
Yeah.
What else do we need to know? Is there anything else that you want to share with us today?
One of the things I've heard recently, and this is going to apply to anybody that tries to get a loan, is that if you're in an industry that is in jeopardy of job loss, restaurants, the service industry, you're probably not going to qualify right now with the risk layers. They're adding overlays to what would normally not be questioned. So in those industries, financing is going to be problematic. It's going to be difficult. The other thing is that you should expect last minute verification of employment. I mean, up until the funds go for funding, they're going to be calling employers to make sure the individual is still employed before they release those funds. So
there you go.
Fun times. We'll get through it. Let me just, if I can, Deb, I know that we were just a quick snippet. I want to end on a high note, you guys. So I obviously, all of us are paying attention to the experts out there and housing and lending and everything. I'm very bullish about the housing market. I still believe that we are going to come out and that the housing itself is not going to take the hits that some of the more pessimistic experts out there think. I think that housing is bullish. I think rates are going to be great as soon as we can kind of dig our way out of this. So my strong advice to everybody listening, if you're going to be needing financing, hopefully with Ridge, get your ducks in a row, man. Get your pre-qual work done. Get all your items in. Get everything ready so that when it's time and those rates come down and you got your deal in hand, we can strike while the iron is hot. You don't want to be screwing around with pre-qual once we get there. Get everything done and we'll be ready to rock.
Great piece of advice. So I want you to give how people can contact you. And after that, I'm going to have you look in your crystal ball for a second.
Okay.
So let people know how they can contact you.
Okay. A few ways, ladies. You can reach us. You can go to our website, ridgelendinggroup.com. You can call us at toll-free 855-747-4343. 855-74-RIDGE is an easy way to remember. Or you can email us, info@ridgelendinggroup.com. We are on standby.
ridgelendinggroup.com so that you all have that.
Yeah.
Okay, crystal ball.
Okay.
So things are very volatile right now. How long do you think it'll take for things to just calm down and start to stabilize?
I think as we continue to see hope, positive reports out of some of the other countries that their numbers are down virus-wise, those things I think bring some real confidence to the economic markets. If I had to guess, if I were forced to guess, I would say we probably have A month. I'd say the end of April, early May is when we'll probably start to see things from a lending perspective settle out, rates improve. So I'd say we got a month.
Cool. I can wait a month.
I can wait a month.
I can wait a month. All right, Caeli, as always, it's wonderful to talk to you. Thank you. For anybody who wants to get in contact with Caeli, she's a wealth of information. Please contact them, and we'll see you soon. We've rescheduled Ignite for October, and you'll be there. So
be there.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Caeli.
Thanks.